share with you say downstairs my experience. And in Thailand, saying something like selling coconut to an ocean owner or teaching a crocodile to swim. So I hope I'm not doing that because I know many of you are experienced in this industry. But I was asked to share my experience from Thailand of some 30 years, maybe a little bit more than 30 years. And I'm happy to do so. And I hope you're not disappointed because there's supposed to be another expert from another country. But now I have to stand in, and my session now is double the time. So I will try my best to not make you sleep because it's after lunch hour, I understand. So please have some strong coffee and try to be entertained. I will try to speak clearly, and if I not understood, just let me know. If you don't hear me from the back, you can always let me know, right? So my experience from incentive industry is actually based on the Western market, say Europe, United States, and Australia. So I understand your southbound policy is to develop business from southwards, and that means maybe Southeast Asia first, and then further on. And as also said, Taiwan is becoming popular for events from Southeast Asia and Thailand. And the understanding or the expectations or the experience of what I will speak may not be the same. But the general idea is similar because it's our duty of the destination and destination service providers to provide service and answer to the needs of the customer in working with the intermediary or the travel company. So their needs would need to be understood, and then your programs and services have to be offered to meet their exact needs, which is always changing. From my more than 30 years experience, it changes all the time. And people ask me, you've done hundreds of events, which is the most interesting for you? I say, the next one. Because every event is always different, and you need to understand and to really work on the different requirements, different nature, and different expectations of each group. Even if the same group is coming back again, you will not want to offer the same services for them again. Am I okay? I'm heard, right? Okay. All right. Why Thailand is so popular? First, I think the destination that is preferred for groups should be in a good location. And Thailand is very lucky that we are located conveniently from many markets, most markets of the world. From Europe, it's, even though it's long haul travel, it's now direct flight 11 or 10.5 hours. Much better than before with aviation technology now advanced in advance. Before it was maybe 15, maybe longer hours, but now it's 11 hours maximum from most cities in Europe. So that makes it easy for us to sell and to offer our services. And of course, in Asia, it's only a few hours flight, so it's the advantage that Thailand has. Australia, 6 hours. That's also very good. And Thailand is also a good stopping point for groups from Europe going to Australia, because that's 11 hours to Thailand or Singapore. They stop, maybe they have a mini program before going down to Australia, and that's 6 hours. So we benefit in all senses like that. Taiwan could also benefit because of your aviation network as well. The groups coming from North America or Europe going down under, you could also tap that kind of market. That depends on the aviation policy and freedom right agreement or what have you. But airline that provides access plays a very important role first because they bring the bodies to our country. And airlines actually in the supplier circle, they would take the largest slice of the pie of the budget, but spending the least time with the clients. That's a very admirable or very good position to be in. Take more money, but spending the least time of service. us people on the ground spend the most time with the clients, work very hard, but get a little bit less money. But we're all in the same boat, so it has to be team destination. This is just the Thai international map, which already is very extensive. It covers the whole, all the corners of the world. And if you add, I think over 50 something commercial scheduled airlines to Thailand network, it would not look like this. It would be very complicated, but it would show that Thailand has very easy access from all corners of the world. Now, what's missing is South America. South America is also becoming a new market for Southeast Asia and also North Asia with Middle Eastern airlines like Qatar, and I think Emirates also, they serve now South America, linking with our area. So maybe Ever Air could establish a partnership with some of these airlines to bring in South American clients. Because now we're starting to service South American customers, and they appeal to the kind of resources that we have. They like national parks, beaches, and culture as well, and the food. Taiwan is similar to Thailand in that the cuisine is good quality and healthy. I know that Taiwan has been here a few times. We really like the organic mentality or organic setup here, and that could be a selling point. For Thailand, we are lucky that we have a selection of destinations to offer, because traditionally from the West, when they want to bring their best performers to on an incentive trip to Thailand, it's 11 hours over, another 11 hours back. They lose 2 days traveling already, so they make it worthwhile. And before, traditionally, when we started doing the business, an average program would cover 3 destinations, and for a duration of maybe 1 week or 10 days or longer. And usually, of course, the first stop would be Bangkok, the capital, which is the international arrival hub. And after a few days in Bangkok, anyway, we would suggest them go to the north, Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai, or Mae Hong Son, which is an easy hours flight from Bangkok. There they can enjoy something different. We call it the real Thailand, because that's rural, and that's they can see the lifestyle of people in the old days, and that's what fascinates the Western culture. With elephant camps, I'll show you photos later. And then after that, the Europeans, when they come during winter time, they would like to go to the beach and be in the sun and relax for 3-4 days. Usually, then now we have a little bit difficult for us to offer services because there are so many to choose from, depending on budget. But again, it's easy that many beach resorts of different duration of travel from the north or from Bangkok, and offering hotels and services of varying price levels. In the beginning, it was Pattaya, which is 2 hours drive from Bangkok. Now it's an 1.5 hour drive with the development of new highway system. And Pattaya is still enjoyed by groups from Asia as well. Now it's becoming a big metropolitan beach destination like Miami. People call Pattaya the Miami of Thailand. And but for the Western market, Phuket is the most preferred, the most sought after beach destination, as the last part of an incentive program would be the perfect ending of any program. And then afterwards, they go back to Europe, taking a flight to Bangkok and connect the flight to Europe. Thai International has developed flight patterns to meet that demand. Flights from Bangkok to Europe usually leave about midnight, so Thai would designate flights that would leave Phuket or another big beach destination with an airport about 8 or 7:30. So it takes an hour to Bangkok. With a transit of a few hours, they can go back to their hometown quite easily. And that became a popular pattern for many years. We've enjoyed business from Europe in the 80s and in the 90s. Quite substantially. Any major corporation in many markets in Europe would have had already a chance to organize incentive trips to Thailand. I mean, it's a must for many companies and many markets. And usually the trendsetters or the leaders in the market, like automobile, for example, maybe Mercedes would organize first a dealer's trip to Thailand. If it's successful, then other companies or competitors will follow. Because the dealers who win the trip to Thailand from Mercedes, they also would sell other cars. And they would, other companies, other cars would also offer an incentive for them to also boost the sales of their products. It's always like that. The leaders start first, and then the market, the second tier, and later would follow suit because they must live up to expectations of their best dealers or best employees. And incentive programs were not only offered for salespeople, but also later for service and for to strengthen relationship of different sectors with their company, within their organization, and also outside organizations. The incentive travel according to site or what we know, site I'll talk about later. That's societal incentive travel excellence. Travel is believed to be, or considered to be, believed to be, and proven to be the best motivator of all kinds. Incentive started with merchandise incentive, and then cash, and later on, receiving cash or merchandise, it's already a known value. You receive a reward of maybe an electronics item that you know how much it costs in the market. But to receive a free trip with the spouse, with many special elements, special dinners, special tours, private pampering, all kinds of special surprises, these things are not, cannot be accounted for, cannot be calculated, cannot be valued in terms of the dollar. So it's the most valuable item, and it's the most prestigious gift that a person can receive from an association or an organization that they work for. So it's still the best reward, more than anything. But incentive travel reward or programs, returns, they have evolution where it changes, and now people are making the dollar count more and more, meaning maybe spending less but getting more in return. That's how business is. Anyway, the destinations in Thailand, as I said, Bangkok, the highlights of Bangkok. You see these pictures, the appeal to a person, an average automobile sales person would say, oh, I would like to go on a trip like that. So Bangkok, and then maybe Chiang Mai, see nature, see elephants roaming, and then go to a beach destination, an island with clear water, nice powdery sand, coconut palm trees, and some nice hotels. It's a reward. Maybe a person or his family can buy a program, a holiday trip of 1 week on their own, going to a travel agent with a brochure and choose hotels and make arrangements to Thailand and spend a week. It's a little bit of a challenge for us, the seller of incentive programs, also to compete and to offer something that is different from what a holiday can offer to any traveler. But that's the challenge, and that's the talent, or that's the knowledge of a supplier to be able to come up with different programs that cannot be purchased directly or cannot be offered by a travel company, that cannot be measured. When people go on an incentive trip like that, with special meals, dinner in a special venue, they do not know how much it costs, and they know that it's arranged especially for them, and that's the best kind of reward. Again, Thailand being a very popular destination that anybody can go if they purchase a program. It's been there and done that kind of thing. So as I said, I repeat again, it's the job of the MC or the destination marketer to make it different, to make it more valuable. A very important ingredient also, from accessibility and the destination, will be the infrastructure. Hotels has to be, as I said, incentive class hotels. It should appeal. And having many international hotel brands at the destination also help to put the destination on the map. These hotels would have access, would have their network of marketing around the world, and they would help promoting Thailand or the destination. And that, as Walter said, the cake becomes bigger to share. It takes a team of destination suppliers to make it work. So we have hotels in Bangkok, in the northern Chiang Mai, at the beach, and many beaches. The W Hotel is in Samui. Samui is also very appealing for groups of smaller size, with not more than say maybe 50, 60 people. 30, 40 rooms size would be right for Samui, while Phuket can offer services for bigger groups. On the left there is the Meridian Phuket with more or less a private beach near Patong with 460 rooms, 2 pools, and it serves many incentive groups all the time, all year round. It's usually full during high season. Ourselves, my company, we've organized several programs to Meridian Phuket in the past, but now there are many, many more choices. Phuket as a destination has 14 beaches around the island. So each beach has different hotels of different characters that you can offer to the customer, depending on what they're looking for.